Hey guys, it is Yishan here. Today I am coming at you all with, finally with my new ban list Gren Maju deck profile. Desires was hit to 1 in the last ban list, and I needed to face some realities as a Gren Maju player. So I've been working on this deck for some time. You guys know I don't like to do sort of just spur of the moment, take out 2 desires, put out a new Gren Maju deck profile and say it's a new ban list Gren Maju deck profile, which would technically be true, but I've analyzed some new cards, analyzed some old cards, went to the lab. I've got some spice for you today, and little hint, it involves level 2 tuners. So look forward to that. This is my Gren Maju deck, it's still a lot of fun to play. I took it to a local, pretty big local. We had like 36 players. We played 5 rounds. I think I finished first after Swiss, and then I lost in top 8. But it was still a great time. Had a great time there. Shout out to all my opponents, all the people that I met. It was a lot of fun. So, this is the deck profile. It's 43 cards, which is a little weird for me. I've been just trying out some stuff, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So pretty cool stuff. We are going to get right into it. I'm going to just try to explain my thoughts as best I can. And we're going to talk about this Gren Maju deck. So, of course, our good friend, 3 Gren Maju. He's still here. He is basically just a payoff for running some stuff. Again, people are asking, is Gren Maju competitive? If you want to win a YCS, I wouldn't recommend this deck. But, if you just want to have fun, if you're just like me, you like Gren Maju, you like sort of this style of deck that just blind seconds, not really an archetypal kind of deck, pretty cool, fun to always experiment with, to try cards and see what happens. This is it, but it's just so satisfying. There was one time in time where I won based on life points, but I would have closed out the game with Gren. There's another time where I OTK'd striker player with Gren. It's basically sometimes it's the high variance card, right? And so like sometimes it can hurt, sometimes it can help, but I really, it's just my favorite monster in the game. So it's really cool. And then, of course, Triple Gizmek, still probably one of the this card is just insane, right? And, like, with less desires, you're getting more activations of this a lot of the time, which is pretty... So if you draw Gizmek, you're going to be using it, a couple of times, probably. So, I like that a lot. I like the Gizmek, just one of the best cards in the deck. And then 3 Eater of Millions. This is like a payoff, one of the cards for running Gren Maju. Really good. It's good at making Dark Charmer. So actually, this deck has some strength against Dark decks. This card is really good at making Dark Charmer. So I really like it for that reason. It's strong because of that. So yeah, making Dark Charmer, solid card, helps with Gren Maju, helps with some cards in the extra deck. I will talk about that in a second though when we get to the extra deck. But yeah, I just like it. Good against rogue stuff. So if you're not playing against like DPE Scythe decks, this deck, I really like it. It's a lot of fun to play. Like, the DP Scythe, brave, a bit, cancerous, basically, right? And so, it's fun to play, right? This deck is fun to play. If you run against that stuff, it's tough. But other than that, like, at a locals, like, not everyone's playing that. So it's kind of fun still. But yeah, like I said, you're not really prepared for the super meta if you're going into a regional. Triple Bigfoot, triple Thunderbird. I just needed some more level 8s to that special summon themselves. I can't run Astral Kribo in this deck. I'll get to it in a moment why I'm not running Astral Kribo. I lost a game. I was like, this deck has a bad Flaunderies matchup, and I lost a game. My opponent, I got the one in like once in a while Flaunderies still bricks, even with all its consistency cards. And I had Bigfoot and Thunderbird. I revealed Bigfoot. He discarded the Bigfoot. I revealed Thunderbird. He discarded the Thunderbird. Like, it just happens. Sometimes, it just happens. I don't know what to say. It's just, it is what it is. Sometimes they're really good, and sometimes they're really bad. You live by the danger, you die by the danger. So, in a way, they're sort of like Gren Maju. They're kind of high variance cards. Okay, Kaijus. I love the Kaijus all day. They're just so good. They're just so, this is the reason I can't run the Golden Castle is just there's no space. I just have to run Kaijus. And so, boom. I ran 3 Ghidorah, 2 Gameciel, 1 Dogron. I didn't really care. This was fine all day. I just ran extra Ghidorah because of the barrier statue. The Stormwind's Flounder is getting more popular, and it's nice to have this as the one you want the most. And then Doggeron, it just helps you activate Slumber more. Never had a problem with it. 3-2-1. So if you're gonna run 6 kaijus, 2-2-2 is optimal. I actually did a whole video about mathematical analysis on kaijus and kaiju Slumber, but I wanted to run 3 Godara. I thought that was more worth it because the difference between 3-2-1 and 2-2-2 is pretty small. So if you have a good reason to run one of the other ones you did, 6 kaijus was great. Found myself, and especially in a little bit of a bigger deck, 43 card deck, I was actually banishing Kaiju Slumber a lot to search one of these, which was good value. So really like that. But yeah, this is just really, it's solid. These cards are so good. DP is everywhere. Boom, Kaiju, everything just Kaiju, and they're level 8s. So great on that front. Triple Alpha. This card is still insane. It's one of those like awkward cards where if your opponent has no monsters, this card's like so annoying. One time I had Alpha and Trade-In in my hand, and I drew into like Trade-In's something like Plague Spreader when I was trying to OTK my opponent. But yeah, so there was the alphas there. But sorry, just a little more about this card. This card's just insane. It's so good against Brave, right? If they're, you're playing these decks that like, they're, like I will Kaiju their threat that they do with the Brave, but that's not the Brave token. Special summon Alpha, attack over the Wandering Griffin Rider, bounce my Alpha back with my Kaiju, and I've just like basically broken their entire board. They're down on resources. I just clear the rest of it pretty easily. So there's that. And then the Spice. We got the Spice. That's all the level 8s. We got the Spice. This is what I played this weekend. I played 3 Deep Sea Diva. Actually, I didn't have the third one at the weekend, so I played one, the Fabled Cerebro, which is like a level 2 tuner. If you discard it, it just special summons itself. Would not recommend, every time I drew the card, I wish it was Deep Sea Diva. So the idea behind this is it's a level 2 tuner. It allows us to access level 10 synchros in our extra deck. So this is sort of the new thing, which is, okay, I'm just thinking like Gren Maju needs to go into the future, and we've got these powerful level 10 synchros like these two guys, and we'll talk about these in a bit, but they're just so powerful. And so I wanted like what's the best level 2 tuner? And I just looked at, I initially dismissed Deep Sea Diva because I'm like, I don't want 2 level 2 tuners. There's no reason for that. But now with all like the extra linking, and I'm running a little bit of a heavier link package in the extra deck, I mean, it's just 100% like it's the best. It's almost usually the best level 2 tuner. Sometimes you can't make use of the second Diva, but that's, that's okay, right? And so like that's just, it's just so good. It baits out imperms, it baits out ashes. When I summon it, people read the card. So I definitely recommend you guys try this card out. Super solid. And I definitely have some thoughts about the extra deck pairing to go with it. But basically, you just get 2 level 2 tuners to make really powerful cards in the extra deck. And then one Plague Spreader saw me. This is sort of going with the level 2 tuner package. I'll talk about this again in the extra deck, but we will get there. But basically, another level 2 tuner. It's good to be having in the graveyard. It's a target off Foolish Burial, which is sort of an idea, right? Foolish, one of the problems is if you already have Gizmek, it kind of sucks. So being able to like always have something to Foolish is pretty good. And Plague Spreader is one of those cards. You can also just normal summon it. It's a level 2 tuner, so it's not even bad to draw. And then I played 1 Pangertops, just solid, rounding out the monsters. Just one of the best monsters in the game for going second. I played triple Trade-In. Super good. Super good. This card's like always live, basically, in this deck, and it just helps you get that advantage that you lost with Pot of Desires, right? You lost some card advantage with Pot of Desires. This helps you get some of it back. Helps you sort of turbo through your deck when you need to. And then you can always, I side it out sometimes when I'm putting in D-Shifter. We'll talk about that as well. 3 Kaiju Slumber, just so strong. So strong. I mean, it's just so, like, it's always getting, like, it's always trading 1 for 1. It eventually banishes itself. I've really liked just having a couple extra cards in my deck. It's felt like it's been more smooth. Like I'm not bricking on too many of these and too many Kaijus, but just so strong. And I think a lot of that's also really just the Deep Sea Diva, just so powerful by itself. But yeah, this card, it makes level 8. It clears your opponent's board and summons a level 8 for you. Just one of the best cards in the deck. And then we got 3 Triple Tactics Talent, and then the 1 Pot of Desires. So like, this is a 43 card deck. I think if you don't have triple tactics, you could just cut them. But just it's one of those things that like, it's just, it punishes your opponent for having a subpar board. If they have anything subpar, you're winning. You're just gonna win, right? Like there's like, it's okay. You use a negate. All right, triple tax, right? You have 1 hand trap to try to stop me. Okay, triple tax, right? It's so good. Sometimes this card's really like, it feels crappy to have. But I really, really like it in a deck like this. It's just like all the modes are good, right? You looking at your opponent's hand is good. You know, they got the nibs tucked away in there. You know, they always got nibs, right? So, you know, but a lot of it's to draw to, again, to recoup the advantage that Potterzar has lost. And then the one foolish, like I said, this can send both Gizmek and Plague Spreader. So sort of that's why I played. I wanted more banish outlets because Gren Maju, you know, you lost 2 desires, right? So like, that's why I'm maxing out on the Gizmeks and the Eaters in the deck, because I feel like I need more banish stuff. And that's why I'm playing Trade-in to sort of cycle through the deck in triple attacks. I need to like make sure that the Gren Majus are dead as little as possible, right? So, okay, you know, that is that, right? And then we've got, you know, Mind Control. This card is really, really good now in this deck, now with the new Zombie Vampire in the extra deck. Same with Triple Tactics. You know, the taking control portion of the card is a lot better with the Zombie Vampire, because the Zombie Vampire is an extra deck monster that allows you to use your opponent's monsters that have a level. I did that twice at the tournament, where I took monsters that did not have a level 8 and made Zombie Vampire, and it was pretty cool. So definitely cool on that front. And I think just being able to play a card like Mind Control and have it be so consistent is great. And I got 1 Call By and then 1 Reborn. I really like Monster Reborn. I didn't really draw it too much, but it's a solid card. And then Call By the Grave is just like it stops a lot of things that this deck has trouble stopping, like Snow, Seal, that sort of thing. And then, you know, trading 1 for a hand trap is usually fine as well. So okay, I just like it. It's offensive and defensive. So really, really like that. That is it, guys. That is it for the main deck. Let's go and talk about the extra deck first, shall we? So the big payoffs for running the tuners. For running the tuners is to play these guys. These 2 level 10 synchros. Baron de Fleur and Supreme Swordsoul Sovereign Chengi. This card is basically, by the way, Supreme Swordsoul Sovereign Chengi, basically an honorary Gren Maju card. You know, it can get huge. It just dominates the board. I mean, it's one of the it's like having this card in your deck where you have Eater and Gizmek in it, as long, you know, Eater and Gizmek, right? You have these cards in your deck, so it makes this card so strong. Like Gizmek plus Chengying, this card's like an honorary Gren Maju card. So let me just explain it to you. So for every banished card, you and your opponents, this card gains 100 attack. Your opponents all lose 100 attack. So basically, when it's on the board, it's crushing. Like it's doing it like 6k a lot of the time. Like it's just, you know, it can OTK so easy. It's like another Gren Maju. It has a way to banish cards from the graveyard, which this deck did not have a way to before. Like, there's no Break 8 Xyz that banishes cards from your opponent's graveyard. Really frustrating sometimes. But this card does. So basically, if a card is banished, except during the damage step, you can just banish a card on your opponent's field and in the graveyard, non-targeting. And it also, if it's got like a Thunder Dragon protection effect, where basically if it would be destroyed, you can destroyed by card effect, you can banish a card in your graveyard instead. I mean, this is just, it's like insane, because it's really hard for people to destroy by battle. And if you get its effect off, you can sometimes get it off on your turn and then get it off on your opponent's turn by having a Gizmek or an Eater, right? And so it's almost like an honorary Gren Maju card, and it's level 10, so you need a level 2 tuner to make it. And then Baron de Fleur, just solid. Like, sometimes you don't always have a banish, or you really just want to play it safe and have a negate. This is really, really good for that reason. And just like, you know, it's one of these cards, like, if these live, you're just, okay, pop again, you know, like, or banish again. So really, really strong. Really, really like 2 cards. If you don't have Baron, that sucks, because this is what I go in. It's like 50-50 split where I go into these 2. They're both really, really good. You know, you could try Ruddy Rose Dragon, but you kind of need the Baron, I feel like, to play the deck to its optimal potential. There are some cards you don't need in the extra deck, but this is one of them that I think you kind of do need. It's a shame because it's kind of expensive. But yeah, that's sort of the idea, right? And you can trigger this on your opponent's turn with Gizmek. A lot of cool plays to be done here. And just 2 really, really strong cards that, you know, modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Has given us. Okay, so we got the Baron de Fleurs. Let's go on to some other stuff. I played 1 Formula Synchron. The idea behind this, I'm going to just go through my links real quick. I played a couple of links. I played Nightmare Unicorn, Hulk, and then the Dark Charmer. The idea was to go with the Hulk. Basically, the one problem with Deep Sea Diva is that sometimes you don't use the second Diva. So my thought was, well, if I summon Diva and I only need 1 level 2 tuner, I'll just make a Hulk, summon out another level 2 tuner, and then I can get a free draw with Formula Synchron. And if I have a Gizmek Engrave or something, I can even make another level 10 Synchro. So that was sort of the idea. It never came up, though, because I feel like if you're in that position where everything's going to resolve, you're in such a winning commanding position anyway. So I might not consider playing that anymore. And then there should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15. So one thing that you could also maybe play is Access Code Talker. I never went into it, but it's definitely something that's worth considering. Like I might just cut this for Access Code Talker because there was a time I didn't come up, but my opponent had 5,400 life points. If he had 53, I would have needed the Access Talker to kill him. So that's another thing that you can consider is just running Access Code Talker. I just never summoned the formula, so I don't think it's probably not worth it. I'm running Super Poly in the side deck, so I got 1 Starving Venom, and then the Xyz monsters, they were pretty standard. Ding with the Zeus package. I'm not playing the bigger spider because of space constrictions. Lancelot, I summon this all the time. It's like one of the other ones. And then Draglubian package. And then one of the newest ones is the Zombie Vampire. So again, I really like how this lets you use tactics and mind control. And it's just one of the most solid. There's a lot of good stuff to mill. There's Gizmek. Sometimes you need a Gren. One thing I really like about it is its combination with Draglubion. So basically you detach a material, you mill 4 and get to special summon something. A lot of times you make this, you're like, if you hit a Gizmek, you can make a Draglubion. And you can make this at the same time. So this can help you like mill a Gizmek, summon another level 8, Gizmek summon back, make Draglubion. That way your Nimrod Dragon's going to be like crazy, 17,000 attacks. You're going to OTK anyone with that, basically. So that's one thing I like to do. Also, it's just a solid, like, when there's nothing to do, you just get some good mills, get some, like, it just puts a lot of power on the board by itself, basically, right? So I really like it, and you can use your opponent's monsters. So there's that. Okay, side deck, not my favorite. There are a couple cards I liked. So Dimension Shifter, I liked. You know, it's good in some matchups, bad in some other matchups. I always side out cards like Trade In because you don't want to draw into D Shifter with Trade In. You don't want to be digging through your deck. You don't want to open it or not. And then I side out like Monster Reborn, Call by the Grave, Foolish for D Shifter because those cards just suck. It makes it easy to side. Lancey, I just never played against. The PK deck is falling off a little bit, so maybe I don't need this card, but this is good against Fluander as well, and this is one of the deck's hardest matchups. I sided 1 Golden Lord with the 3 Super Poly. My thought was, okay, this makes Super Poly also good with Golden Lord, but I don't know if it's worth it, honestly. Not sure if this is worth it. Maybe Twin Twisters is the way to go. Got Harpies, Red Reboot. Happy with these cards. Every time I draw them, I'm happy. And then I really, really like TC Boo, just one of the best floodgates. Just good against Fluander as well, and just plenty of other things. So really like it. Yeah, that is the deck, guys. Let me know what you guys think of the new theory, basically. Yeah, I didn't really go over Dark Charmer too much, but Dark Charmer is really, really strong. It also works well with the Zombie Vampire. It also like just summons back DPs for level 8s, and helps you OTK in that way. So that is everything, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think of the deck. It's pretty interesting. This is a bit of a longer video. I feel like there was some more stuff to explain. Hopefully I got everything I needed to explain. But yeah, that's it. Maybe Twin Twisters for Super Poly would be the way to go in the future. Not sure about that. Maybe some nibs depending on the matchups. But yeah. Okay, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. This was a really, really fun deck profile. I really had a blast playing this deck. If you haven't tried Deep Sea Diva, give it a shot. I hope you guys keep enjoying Gren Maju. You know, the one nice thing about having 1 Desires is that when you activate it, you never draw another Desires. So you're always drawing gas, which is pretty cool. Other than that, guys, yeah, that's what Gren Maju players tell themselves when they cry themselves to sleep. Other than that, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. You know, keep playing Gren Maju. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are, and I will see you in the next one. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Peace.